We are still on Jenkins. This time around, we want to look at how we can build a pipeline project from the scratch. Let's call this scratch pipeline. We want to build a pipeline project from the scratch, okay? We'll make this as simple as possible, right? So what do we want to do? We want to click on pipeline and okay. Now that we've done this, right? So we want to go straight to the script, right? There are several scripts, right, that we can look at, but they might look complicated, right? So several scripts here, but we want to make it as simple as possible so that we can really, let's clear all of this. We want to make it as simple as possible, right? We'll be using Groovy, right? So it's going to be a Groovy script. So how do we start? Right? Let's see how we'll start it. We need to start it with node, right? Space, right? Let's see what happens. Node. Once you open the bracket, the other one gets opened for you, right? So we want to go ahead and put this, right? Then we close it, right? So everything we are going to be doing, let me expand this a bit. Everything we are going to be doing is going to be centered around this, right? You see what we've done, right? So now what we want to do next is to come into the middle here, right? And click on enter, right? So the same format we entered up there, let's try to enter our whole process, right? Our pipeline, the entire pipeline, using that same format. So what I want to do first is to clone the code, right, from the SCM, right? So I want to say stage, right? I can say stage, right? Then once I enter once, it opens the other one, right? So what do I want to put in here? I want to put in a single quotation mark. It opens the other one so that I can type, right? What step do I want to do? I want to clone. I want to clone code, right? Or let me just say clone from SCM, right? So this is the first thing I want to do, right? Then remember what we did with the first guy, space, open and close. Then we enter. So what is the next thing we want to do? The next thing we want to do is, let's say stage, space, right? We open the bracket, single quotes, doubles up. Then what we want to do next? The next thing we want to do is to do a build. Build. Right? This is the second thing we want to do. We move forward, the curly bracket, and we close it, right? Then what's the next thing we want to do, right? You can see it's getting very interesting. Open bracket. The next thing we want to do is specify it, right? We single quotes. So the next thing we want to do is to do code analysis, code quality analysis. And say this, we can say this, code analysis, right? That's the next thing we want to do, right? We'll come here, space, open and close, right? So what is the next thing we want to do within the build process? We want to do our, let's see, what we want to do. stage, right? We want to back up on Nexus, right? Colon, backup, right? Backup artifacts. Backup artifacts. Artifacts. Okay, so this is the next thing we want to do. Open curly brackets and close it. So after doing all of this, right, you want to introduce something into this game, right? Let's say we want to get an approval before it is eventually released, right? We're just looking at a simple pipeline. It could get complicated more than this, but as much as possible, we want to keep it as simple as possible so that we can understand easily. So next stage, we want some kind of authorization. Open the brackets. Then we want to say authorization, right? Then step out, open and close, right? Then finally, we want to do a release. Right, this is the stage, right? We want to do a release. We want to do a release, right? So that's the final stage, release. Release. Okay. Now we want to open and close. Yes. At a glance, we can picture everything that we need to do, right? We want to close from GitHub. We want to do the build using Maven. We want to run a code quality analysis using SonarQube. We want to back up artifacts using Nexus. We want to authorize. The manager needs to do this. Then we can release using Tomcat. So this is just a simple pipeline. And we can see from start to finish, everything looks similar, right? The only things that look different are the contents of the code, right? Which are things we're also familiar with, right? Everything is the same, right? So just as you have all of this inside these nodes, right? Inside this node up here, we need to now put different things within the nodes that we have generated. Can you see? Can you see? We need to put all the different steps, right, in these different nodes. As much as possible, I'll try to use things you are familiar with to make all these builds. Okay, so we want to use what you are familiar with to generate all the builds. Okay, so now we've done all of this, right? So let's start from the top. So when we want to clone from the source code manager, which is GitHub that we have here, let's say this is what we want to clone, right? This private repository is what we want to clone. You want to copy it, right? Then go back to the pipeline, right? I don't want to place this in here, right? I have some work I need to do. So I need to take some further steps, okay? So what do I need to do? Our solution is right here, staring at us. Pipeline syntax. This is the solution. You just need to click on it, right? And take it one step at a time. So the first thing we want to do is to check out from version control, right? We want to check out from version control. And the version control that we are using is GitHub, right? That's the version control system, right? So I want to click on this, right? Now it says source code manager, right? You can see Git, right? Want to pick it up from Git. So the repository, we enter it here, right? We do as if we are trying to do the regular freestyle project, right? So you can see it's guiding us on what to do. So right here, it says I'm not authenticated. So I want to get authenticated by using an existing authentication method, right? I click on that, so I'm authenticated, right? So I scroll down, what else do I need to do? Branch specifier, for this particular project, I don't have master, it's main. So I want to leave this blank for any. I could have specified main, but I want to leave it blank for any, okay? So now that I've done this, what else do I need to do? I want to scroll down, and click on generate pipeline scripts, right? You can see this has everything. So I copy this, right? Even the credentials, everything is set up in this code, right? I don't need to rack my brain to store all of this, right? I just need to copy this and come back here and paste here, right? See where the line is? I paste, right? So that part is done, okay? So what else do I want to do, right? What else do I want to do? I want to go to the next step. This part is done. I want to go to the next step, which is build. How do I do my build, right? To do my build, I run mvn install, right? I can do mvn install, I can do mvn package, depending, right? So I want to run mvn install, right? So I come back here, right? Remember my pipeline syntax? This is where the magic happens, right? I come back here. Next step, what do I want to do? I want to run mvn install. What can I use to run mvn install? Let's see what will help me to run mvn install. Okay, I can use shell script, right? Yes, this is something I'm very familiar with. How do I run my mvn install, right? So run my mvn install, I want to type mvn install. This is how I run my mvn install, right? So let's see, any option here. So I'm not selecting that. So I want to come here to generate pipeline scripts. So as simple as that. So to run that, I click mvn install, and this happens, right? Mvn install, I come here, telling me where to paste, follow the instruction, I paste there, mvn install, right? But I can also say, I want to run mvn install, clean install instead, right? I can do mvn clean install, right? Clean, then install, okay? So this is something I could also do, mvn clean install. Now, for code quality analysis, what do I need to do? I come back here to the syntax, right? I come to the syntax, shell scripts, right? I can use this. I can say mvn clean sonar, clean sonar. So this is what I would have entered on the command line. So I'm just entering it here, sonar, right? mvn clean sonar. Then I scroll to the bottom, I click generate pipeline script. It tells me what to copy. I copy this, right? Just following guidance, right? I could have as well, because I know this, I could as well come here and say, okay, this one is mvn deploy, and come here and say mvn deploy, but I don't want to do that, right? I want to follow direction. So I could do this, right? mvn clean deploy, but let's go up here to do it the way it should be done. I come here. So next step is also another go deploy, right? I go down and click generate script. Tells me what to use, right? Is this exactly what I have? That's exactly what I have, mvn clean deploy in single quotes. Now, the next stage is authorization. Now, with this authorization, what we are trying to achieve is we are looking for a plugin that will pause the process, right? Pause the process for a while, allow somebody to approve before the process continues, right? So that is what we are trying to achieve here with authorization. So let's go back to the pipeline syntax, right? So going back to the pipeline syntax, what do we see? Let's look at the options, right? We are looking for an option that will allow us make use of time. Okay, I see time out, enforce time limit. This looks like what we need. Click on time out, right? Then we want time out, maybe 24 hours. We want somebody to approve within 24 hours, right? I say 24 hours, right? We want somebody to approve within 24 hours. I want to click generate pipeline script, right? So I come here, I copy that, right? I copy this. I go back to here, authorization. I want to paste this here, right? But once I paste it, it could scatter a bit, but we'll look at how we can rearrange, right? So this is how it came, right? Let's see what we copied, see the way it was, right? And see where it is, right? So it's scattered a bit. So what do I want to do at this point? I want everything aligned. So this looks good, right? The first line, line 15 looks good. So I want to click on line 16, go back, right? Make sure you don't delete anything, right? Then enter, you see, it's better aligned now. So this one, I expect it to be here, right? But it's not well aligned. So what do I want to do? I want to click on here, back, right? And enter. It takes it to the right place, right? And this aligns, you see, everything aligns. So shows me that this is in the right place. So do I just want the block, right? Without an instruction? No, I need to have an instruction set, right? So I won't say input message, right? Want to input a message, right? Single quotes, doubles up, then we put what message we want within the quote. So let's say approve urgently is the message, urgently, right? There's a timeline, 24-hour set before expiry, and say approve urgently. So once we do that, approve urgently, I believe that is done with that. So we want to go to the final stage, which is the release stage. So at the release stage, what do we want to do? At the release stage, we want to come to release and deploy to Tomcat. So we'll go back to the pipeline syntax that has been helping us a great deal, right? Every step of the way. Come back here, pipeline syntax. We click on pipeline syntax and we look for, what are we looking for? Deploy here /var to a container, right? We are familiar with that. So we want to deploy what is in target, right? Target that ends with .var, right? We want to deploy it and we want to call it, what name do you want to call this? Let's call it Scratch. Let's call when it gets to the destination, we want it to be called Scratch, right? So deploy to container, add to container, we want to say container, our container that we want to use is Tomcat 9 point something, right? Tomcat 9 point something, okay? So credentials, we need to authenticate. There's a deployer, right? Manager-script, right? Okay, so we have that there. So we want to copy our Tomcat URL. Do you have any Tomcat open here? Tomcat, okay, this Tomcat, right? Let's copy a Tomcat URL. Copy the Tomcat URL. What else do we want to do? Want to copy the Tomcat URL. Okay, yeah, right? Put the Tomcat URL here. and take this out, right? We have the IP address, column 5000, right? This is the Tomcat port for this account, okay? So once you've done this, everything looks good. You want to generate pipeline, okay? Generate pipeline scripts, okay? So to generate pipeline scripts, you click on this, okay? So once you click on this, you want to copy all of this, right? That's the pipeline script that we need to embed here, right? So come here, we paste. So once we do this, we are good. So you want to apply, then save, okay? So once you apply and save, you can see we have your pipeline scripts, right? Which can be used, saved in your repository as your Jenkins file, okay? So now that we have this, let's see what it looks like. Let's see what it's going to look like. Let me reduce the screen size so we can have the display once and for all. So let's try to do a build, right? A build, you can see clone from SCM, done. The build is done. Code quality analysis is in progress, right? Code quality analysis is in progress. So we have a code quality analysis in progress. Okay, backing up artifacts, that's done. Authorization, see that we abort or proceed, okay? That's assuming, okay, let's just proceed, right? And once you proceed, we have a release, okay? The release is done. So that's how you build a pipeline from the scratch. It's easy, and you just need to be relaxed and look at the steps and make use of the pipeline syntax as much as possible to get your results. Let's look at what we have. The name of the, I think we said it should save as Scratch, right? Scratch, yes, enter. You can see it's a success. Scratch, right? Is a success. So thank you and see you in the next session.